I'm excited to introduce Keith Bradford, which I'm sure most of you know already as our service team lead, who's going to do our next feature highlight on reporting.
Yeah, so one of the things that we hear a lot from clients is that they appreciate how LabKey allows them to centralize and synchronize their data. But more and more, we're getting feedback about the reporting that the groups then need to do. And not just reporting to their researchers or their science teams, but also needing to report to a variety of different audiences, maybe project managers, operations teams, maybe different lab teams, executives, managers, and external collaborators are all kind of customers that need to receive reports and receive downstream data. Today, I'm going to go through a couple different ways that you can use the data that you already have in LabKey to create reports and dashboards for various audiences. In my example that I have over here, I'm using LabKey Study with a few different data sets. This is about a new exercise regimen. And we have participant data, we have some sample data, and we have some assay data all put together. But what you can see is that I've started creating reports so that we can start reporting to our various different audiences. This first one is a report for our research coordinators and focuses primarily on enrollment. They can see their overall enrollment stats, how many participants are enrolled, progress for each of the different treatment groups, and I guess the different participant groups, and then kind of having visualizations on progress towards their goal while also seeing participants across the different sites, and then also seeing some kind of high-level metrics about the samples that are being received and kind of progress towards that. One thing I want to point out is that these are all different types of reports. The kind of top and bottom ones are just pure SQL queries that were written and then put into this dashboard. This one, the enrollment progress, this is an R report. That's because it was a chart that I wanted to use that LabKey didn't natively support. I could have done this with one of our Jupyter reports if I was more comfortable with Python, but I'm more comfortable with R, so I used our R report. And then over here on the right, this is just one of our generic built-in LabKey reports. But I'm able to unify that all together and give multiple different views for the research coordinator to see the data that they need. The next report I have is, or dashboard I have, is focused on our lab managers. Again, they might have the same, I can use that same query again for a different group to see the sample statistics, but then they're going to want a lot more detail. So we have the reasons that samples were discarded and with counts over that so far this year. And then samples that have yet to be run and need assay data still. And so that one's also a query that we can pull up. And really, the data here is just an example. It could be a variety of different things. Whatever data we have that the downstream customers need, we can make sure that we are giving that to them through reports and dashboards. The last part I wanted to highlight is just if you need to get data out of LabKey, if you're constrained, you have to use a specific tool. Maybe your business analysts only use Tableau or Power BI for reporting, or you need to use APIs. You can, we really pride ourselves on making it easy to get data into and out of LabKey. In here, I have a view that I've created where we have the BMI data from one data set associated with our wearable data. And what we can do to get ourselves started with an API is go to export. And instead of defaulting to Excel where we normally go, we can go into scripts. And for this one, we'll say that we're going to export to Python. And when I use that, it pulls up the start of a Python script that includes all of the data that I had in that view. And you can see here, apologize if that's small, it's included the data that I've pulled over from other data sets. And without me having to know the exact syntax, without me having to go and look up whether I did underscores or camel casing for the field names, it's pulled all of that data and it's ready to go and available for me to start generating the reports that I need. Hopefully you can see different ways that you can report out to different clients. This is just scratching the surface. And so there's many different ways that you can do reports. As we've said over and over again, please talk to your account manager. We're happy to help with giving additional insight and helping set up reports.